Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and you're watching a special episode of The Battle. It's the host, Keith Andrew, talk show host with a learning disability. Today's guest is BatWoman. Thank you for being here with us.
Hold up. Forget about it.
For people who want to know a little about me, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities that never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you want to be, is to prove to them still amount to something. We're doing a special 2 out of 3 battle. So the first one we're going to start off with is icebreakers. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
So I'm BatWoman. That's about it. I'm a records manager by day and a villain hunter by night. But in all actuality, just kidding, I'm old. So the only vengeance I'm seeking is the back of my eyelids.
Or Social Security.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the next one I want to ask is, when you were in college, sorry, my dog barked in the background, broke my concentration. Easily distracted by shiny objects.
Got you.
So the next one I want to ask you, when you were in college, were you a study nerd or party animal, and what did you major in?
So I didn't go to college, but I did get a certificate in emergency medicine. I was a kind of both. Like, I focused on my schoolwork, but I also would let my hair down and get a little wild.
Was there any... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was telling Joe to have a good one.
Was there any sports that you always wanted to do or wanted to proceed?
I was in softball all through high school.
Oh, nice.
So that was my go-to.
A lot of people think I'm a loser for this, but I always wanted to do one since I was 4 years old. Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
I think we did in elementary, but I'm not sure. Well, no, I don't think we did. But like in elementary, do you remember those, like the really big tent-looking thing that you would flop it? Yeah, that was the closest thing to a pyramid.
I like that stuff. I'm a loser.
Not at all.
So the next one I want to ask you is, I know you fight crime in your free time, but what exactly did you want to major in?
Probably the emergency medicine. Just because I have a passion to help people. But kiddos changed my course of direction, so now I just work for a helicopter company that has medics.
Oh, nice. Well, I appreciate your service.
Oh, thank you.
And you can ask me subjects, too, if there's anything you want to talk about as well.
Alrighty.
So the next one I want to ask you is the coronavirus. How has COVID impacted your life, and do you see life in a different point of view?
I don't think it really did impact. I just live life like I used to. I did notice after being on lockdown for so long, I did become more antisocial. But other than that, not a whole lot.
No, I understand. But a lot of companies actually benefited from it. You know, Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, Hulu. Mostly because they're home. What do you think you're going to do with your free time? So, anyway, you know, they benefit from it. But here's a funny story. My dad felt like he was under house arrest
Yeah.
for the first 2 years because we couldn't leave. We couldn't go out to the supermarket. And the only free time we had was going into the backyard.
Yeah.
So the joke was, would you like that? Outside?
Nice.
But even if we go back before that, everyone who always joked about, say, oh, I wish I can stay home for the rest of my life, work from home, press a button, have things delivered to me. Well, it's kind of like being punched in the face because you got what you wanted.
True.
But now it's the opposite. Oh, I have to go out. And it's always nice to have human interaction, even though there are some people you would like to keep at arm's length.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it felt weird going back to the mall when we actually got out. I don't know, are you a fan of Macy's?
I don't think we have one here.
Well, for people who are a fan of Macy's, better enjoy it now because come January, the whole chain of Macy's, they're going to be gone.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
It's really depressing if you think about it. The mall I have, stupid question, but you probably have a mall near you. But let me ask you this, and then I'll pass it over to you. Every mall has like 4 anchor stores. Either it's Macy's, J.C. Penney's, Sears, FYE. At your mall, what are your anchor stores?
I truly don't know. Just because I don't do the mall crawl. Like our mall that we have is so ran down, and I think it's got like a Sears and yes. So it's got Sears and then like Party America, and I think that's it. So we got to travel like 30 minutes to the next mall, and I just don't go.
I mean, it's nice to get out of the house, especially this time of year. It's really nice.
True.
I mean, like I mentioned 4 anchor stores, but okay, that was a little of a stretch. I mean, 3 anchor stores. But the point is,
You guys.
the mall, I'm from New York, so I go to the Galleria in Middletown, New York.
Yeah.
They already lost Sears, and it's kind of like this. Even though Macy's is going to disappear,
Yeah.
in a couple years, they will come back, but in a smaller store. Example is Toys R Us. I used to work at Toys R Us. They closed, but 5 years later or something, they came back, but to a smaller store.
Gotcha.
That seems to be the new. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just was saying, huh?
That seems to be the new fade. And, instead of having a giant store or stores, they're going to come back and have mini stores or a store within a store.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool.
It is, but it sucks that things have to change.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of change, but that's the OCD.
No, I understand. I have a little OCD too. When I go outside and I use the hose, I have to check it at least 2 times because I turn it on and I know I turned it off. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I have to go check on it and make sure I left it off.
Yeah, totally get that.
So the next subject, well, let me ask you, was there any subjects you want to talk about or you want to ask me about?
Nope, you're the interviewer.
So the next one I want to talk to you about is because you are a big thing on social media. How has social media impacted your life, and has it gave you more opportunities?
Hold on just a second. So
Yeah, take your time.
MVP, Rhonda, Kimchick, and Joe, thank you guys. Okay, so how has social media impacted my life?
Yes.
It's given me a lot more acquaintances. it has given me, oh, cool, yay, Rhonda got a glove. It's given me the opportunity to meet people all across the world and learn different cultures and ways of life. It's allowed me to be able to step outside my comfort zone and try to grow as a person instead of just hiding behind a TV.
Now that's how I felt. How I feel. When I first started my talk show, and everyone can see my show. Go to YouTube, type in one word, KeithAndrewNetwork, or hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork. Season 1, Season 2. I don't have it. I can't show you because I'm using the phone, but I will use the card for an example.
Okay.
What you see on the card is what you saw on a camera. And I used to be in a tiny little box on this side. And I'm like, okay, well, this is not about me. I mean, I'm making a statement of saying I'm a host with disabilities, but the main center of this is you. So someone came across my brother and said, oh, hey, we came across your brother's show. It's pretty interesting. Our one comment is, why is he hiding? Why is he in a little box? And I said, well, because I don't want to be seen. Yes, I'm a host with disability, but it isn't about me. It's about the guests. They said, well, he should project himself out there if he wants people to take him seriously. So from recording from the phone to Skype recorder to now using Zoom, you saw a progress of someone who did not want to be seen, who sucked at doing interviews, to he's been an expert for 11 and a half years who has interviewed 1,172 people. So you saw a progress from did not want to be seen to now he wants to be seen.
True.
With social media, everyone has a gimmick. Everyone has a character, and you're a perfect example of that. How do you feel about everyone having a gimmick? Do you think it helps? Do you think it hurts?
I think it helps. It gives you a course of direction.
Well, go ahead.
Before I had BatWoman, I was all over the place. Like I couldn't figure out my niche. So I think it gives people kind of like stepping stones to follow, I guess to say.
Well, let me ask you, has becoming, and you were fantastic as BatWoman.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, has this given you like self-confidence for people who suffer from depression or anxiety? Do you think dressing up gives you that self-confidence, and has that helped you express yourself more?
Yeah, I think so, because it gives me the ability to kind of put myself out there without people knowing my real identity. And so it lets me take baby steps into becoming an influencer instead of just, boom, here I am. Here's my real identity. Come find me, At least this way there's a little bit of privacy and security, but yet at the same token I can be out there.
No, that's true. I agree. For me, I might do something like that, but I don't want people to think I give you an example. I messaged several people yesterday. I'm like, hey, I saw you're an actor. I'd like to have you on the show. Her response, a normal response would have been, okay, send me a link of your episode. I check it out. Her response was, I don't mean to laugh at you, but when I first read this, I thought you were a joke, and I couldn't help to laugh. And I'm like, what the? And it's uncensored, by the way. It's like, what the fuck are you laughing at? You're laughing at someone who has. Okay, look. if I walked up to someone and said, "Hey, I'm a talk show host with the disabilities," people would think, "Is that a joke? Is that like a pickup line?"
Yeah.
But then I go into detail. I'm like, doing this for 11 and a half years, 1,000 episodes. Is that a joke to you? And so I just blocked her. As soon as she said, "I don't mean to laugh at you," it's like, I take this very personally.
Yeah.
So just someone to take a jab at me, and I do take that personally. Or do you think I overreacted?
No, because it's your show. It's what you've created, and to have someone say, "I don't mean to laugh at you," is kind of it's just kind of like, well, they're trying to kindly tell me that they're making fun of me or what have you.
Right. I agree. Now, the next subject, next question I want to ask you, I want you to be brutally honest.
Okay.
When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction and what made you say yes?
My first reaction was, "Oh crap, all eyes on me." And then afterwards, it's like, well, I'll go ahead and say yes, because I'm not going to have personal growth if I don't get outside my comfort zone.
And how do you feel now, and would you recommend it to all your viewers and fans?
It's a lot better knowing that I did it, and I'd say go for it, everybody.
No, absolutely, and that's the biggest thing. It's, yes, I'm a talk show host with disabilities, but it isn't just about me. It's about the guests. We're going to hear your story. We're going to ask some hard-hitting questions, and at the end of the day, you're supporting someone with disabilities, but you're also making a new friend at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot of people overlook that.
Yeah. Welcome in, John. And thank you guys for everything.
Well, it's the last 2 minutes and counting. I'm going to pass it over to you and everyone who's joining you on your side. If there's any questions they want to ask both of us, this is the time.
Do you guys have any questions? Santa Bean. So, thank you. So what made you get into interviewing?
Well, I was always, when I was growing up, I was a big professional wrestling fan. My hero was Bret the Hitman Hart. And occasionally I wear fancy shirts. So I'm like big fan of the 80s and early 90s. I had my own show in high school. I came up with the school I went to had their own TVs in every room. So I was like, okay, wouldn't it be interesting if we came up with not really a class, but if someone wanted to be an actor or someone wanted to be on TV, they can go to the audiovisual department and say, how can I get into like the drama class or the entertainment world? And I'm not the same person who I was 18 years ago. I invented the morning show. I wasn't a part of it, but I came up with it. I had my own show, the KeithAndrewNetWork, where I would interview people, just like random subjects. But the point was, I wanted to show people with the disability that labels did not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. I graduated in class of 06, and I kind of fell out of it because there was no Skype, there was no Zoom, like in 2008 and whatever. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. These things were popping up on the screen. So I worked in retail. I got sick out of it. I went to West Point, where they were training people to become a custodian. And I was like, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. So instead of using my disability as a crutch. I call it the boomerang. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. People will feel sorry for me. Things will be handed to me. But when the boomerang comes back in the opposite direction, you just labeled yourself as an influence, saying people can't. Well, you just said you have disabilities. How are you supposed to do this? Because you labeled yourself as you don't have to do what you do.
Yeah.
So I started the KeithAndrewNetWork. The idea was created in 2004, 2005. The brand itself was created in 2010, 2011. And I made videos, fan-made parodies. I'm like, okay, that's great, but need something else. June 10th of 2013, I interviewed Barbara Goodson and Ron Axel. All these people from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Ron Axel is also a music composer. He did the X-Men theme. And at the time, I wanted to work with Blog Talk Radio. And they're like, oh, there's too many people with the word uncensored. I could have it, you can have it. So it wasn't original.
Yeah.
But at the time, my sister and my brother were saying, you're not a real talk show, blah, 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 blah. And my biggest mistake was I looked up a lawyer who, funny enough, was an actor. He's an actor by day, lawyer by night. Kind of like you, like a crime fighter.
Yeah.
So he said, your biggest, number one, you don't have to be trademarked because that's $2,000 and you're not making money. So I would not recommend that. 2, you have an online presence so people know who you are. But your biggest mistake was you weren't having people sign permission forms. So I don't interview anyone who doesn't sign. Pretty much a form is I introduce myself and you agree to let me have you interview as long as it doesn't discriminate against you or me.
Yeah.
So I took down all 385 episodes. So I did it over. So I am now officially 1,172. And I have binders filled of these, of anyone who ever signed a form. So it was a learning process from had no idea to what the hell I was doing to now I know what I'm doing.
Nice.
But I didn't mean to go on a big rant. But but the biggest thing was like, hey, I read and learn at a 5th grade, a high school level. I fall under the spectrum. I can't read, I can't write. But as long as I made a good impression on you, that's all that really matters.
Yippers.
Now, wrapping up the show, I do want to talk to you about December 14th. That will be the holiday episode. It will be, you said 5 o'clock Mountain Time. It's like a 2-hour difference, right?
Yeah.
All right, so it'll be 5 o'clock your time, 8 p.m. Eastern. If anyone's on the West Coast, it will be 5 p.m. Central, an hour difference. It's pretty much a normal conversation. What are you thankful for the holidays? What are you looking forward to in the new year? It's a normal conversation, and I like bringing people together. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I hope I made a good impression on you. That's all that really matters.
Sure did. So awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Supporting me and my message is all that